Greetings, all you Jackson Jennets, and welcome to your daily dose of donkey with Ginger. It's your boy, the Viking Donkey, coming at you with some Steelers talk on this another no football Sunday, I guess is what we'll call it. Um, First off, if anyone saw the U.S. Open golf tournament, let's just say watching Fitzpatrick win, becoming one of the third person ever, I think, to win an amateur and the U.S. Open at the same golf course. So congrats to him. That was a kind of cool sports thing. Thought we would bring that out and announce it because it was fun to see. But Steelers talk, there's a little bit of Steelers news. It's probably going to be a quick episode as there's not a whole lot going on as we're not into real training yet and we're past the fake training time of the offseason. So you're sitting in this kind of 2-3 week lull of what should we talk about? Well, first let's talk about the Steelers, Minkah Fitzpatrick, agreeing on a contract extension that makes him the highest paid safety in the league. Is that a good thing? If he plays like he did his first year as a Pittsburgh Steeler, it's a great thing. If he played like he did last year, it's a thing where you're overpaying for the services of a middle tier safety. Which Minkah do you get? Who knows? Hopefully we get the great one. I think the great one's obviously in there because you've seen the play before, but consistency is a huge thing in the NFL, and we've seen guys before put up one or two good years and be average. I really do like Minkah. I really do think he has that ball hawking mentality. I hope the defense gels a little better this year. The defensive line plays better because I think if the line can play better in terms of holding up the run, you're going to force the teams to throw the ball more. You throw the ball more, you get to see better Minkah. So that's what I hope happens in the long run. Really cool to see him get that contract. Well deserved based off a couple of his years. Maybe not based off last year, but neither here nor there. I think Minkah's a great part of this defense. I think he deserves to be paid towards top dollar. And we're building Steeler football the way Steeler football's been built in the past. That is defensive minded, defensive payroll. And if you don't believe that, the other story I was reading, which is kind of fun and I think worth talking about, is the highest paid player on the Pittsburgh Steelers offense, kind of like the defense, is a Watt. Yeah. Somehow the Steelers are in this really, really rare air where their highest cap hit this year is going to belong to a fullback, and that is Derek Watt. I really wanted to call him DJ there because for some reason, JJ, TJ, Derek is the way it goes, but that's neither here nor there. But who would have thought a fullback, the highest cap hit on a team? That's kind of odd, and it shows you the Steelers, even while we went out and signed some people, we did not pay top dollar to bring in any offensive person. Maybe he won't be the highest paid offensive person when the season starts, because maybe we go out and sign ourselves an offensive tackle who's capable of starting on a one-year deal that's like $10 million or something. I don't know. Could be fun to say, but not only is it a fullback that's the Steelers' highest paid player, it's a guy who played, like 11 or 12% of the offensive snaps last year. I think he appeared in 86 or something snaps total on offense. So that's fun, and I guess congratulations are due to Derek Watt there for becoming a weird little side note in not only Steeler, but possibly NFL history if the Steelers, in fact, don't sign anyone to displace what Derek Watt is making right now. So, hey, look at all the roster construction going on. Look at all the signings going on. Are the Steelers done making moves? Was Minkah the last move? Will we, in fact, see someone added to the offensive side? Do they like Deontay Johnson enough to try to get a contract done with him before the season starts? There's all sorts of fun questions still raging in our minds of what's going to happen. But knowing Minkah got paid, that was something we wanted to see and glad to see it. So that's about all the Steelers news. Is there anything else we can talk about? Yeah, I'm going to start breaking down week by week an X factor for these boring weeks. This week I want to work on what I think is going to be the offensive passing game X factor. Now there's a lot of things we could talk about here. Is it going to be the offensive line play that's the X factor? Because really, they haven't given Ben a lot of time in a long time. But to be fair, when Ben has time, he's not the most accurate guys last year. But if they could have given him more time, could he have performed better? Would that accuracy have been better? Would he have not felt the need to get the ball out so quick? So is the offensive line the X factor? Is one of these new quarterbacks who's taken over for Ben clearly going to be an important thing? But are they an X factor? Is there really a big enough difference between Mitch Trubisky, Mason Rudolph, and Kenny Pickett that the X factor is going to be whoever wins the quarterback job? I mean, obviously the quarterback is a huge part of the passing game, but certain people can make a passing game a lot better. You don't believe that? Look at what happened to Buffalo after they added Stephon Diggs and what happened to Josh Allen. Just takes a huge step forward because it's a lot easier to make those passes when your receivers are 1 or 2 yards open. So, could it be a receiver that is the number one thing in the X factor? Well, let's start off first at the offensive line. I believe with Matt Canada's system, there's going to be a lot more misdirection, which means a lot less pressure on the offensive line than pass pro. Obviously, they still have to hold up, but I don't think it's going to be. The mixed direction should slow down pass rushers, and hopefully that helps these guys, especially the tackles who are, well, let's be fair. Chucks is a pretty good pass blocker. Dan Moore did okay last year. Maybe he develops even more this year. But the misdirection should help those guys hold up a little longer. It's not like you have to generate push, which is where their real weakness was in the run game. So I don't think the X factor is the offensive line because I feel like the Steelers, look at the quarterbacks they have, now able to move, are going to be able to hide a little bit of the weaknesses in the offensive line. I don't think it's the quarterbacks because, like I said earlier, I don't see a huge difference right now between Trubisky, Rudolph, and Kenny Pickett. That's why I said whichever one goes out there and looks like he just is the swagger guy, the guy who takes the lead, should be the guy who wins the quarterback job, because I really feel all three of those right now are interchangeable skill sets. Obviously, the higher ceilings are on Trubisky and Kenny Pickett. There's a reason those two guys are first-round picks. Mason Rudolph's ceiling's a little lower, but he might throw the best deep ball out of the bunch right now. So, who knows? So, where do we get into an X factor? There's a lot of good people out there. Deontay Johnson's been the top receiver for a couple years and is looking like a low-end one receiver right now. Good player to have, great player to fit in, especially if Kenny Pickett's the quarterback. I'm telling you right now, that will be Deontay Johnson having his best year, I think, is if Kenny Pickett is the quarterback here. You add in some new guys, is Pickens, is Austin the X factor? Is Freiermuth going to come out and have a great year as the X factor? Is one of the running backs out of the backfield, whether it be Najee getting a lot or maybe Mateo Durant or McFarland or Benny Snell somehow going to catch the ball a lot? I think all of those guys are going to be important to it. I really do. But there's a reason there's one name I haven't mentioned, and that is because this is the person I think has to be the X factor in the offense. That's Chase Claypool. That's a frame. This is a guy coming into a third year who had a great rookie year, a little bit of a downtrod his second year. But if you look at terms of separation, he got a lot of separation last year. He's got a lot of separation his first year. You have seen in the past how much a difference a big play wide receiver makes on offenses. I mean, look back in the day at the Cincinnati Bengals when they were high-flying offense. Look at the Steelers when you have Mike Wallace. That guy who can blow the top off a defense and just make a defense have to account for him, but still be able to make plays makes such a difference. I mean, look, that's what I'm trying to say. The Bengals last year, when they had a guy like Jamar Chase. The Steelers have a guy like that. That guy is Chase Claypool. Chase Claypool showed it his rookie year. Chase Claypool showed it last year. His hands had a couple iffy drops. I feel like that adversity hit him. He did some stupid things outside of there. The fan base has gotten a little hard on him. I think Claypool is going to commit hard, come out this year, and show people what he's really about. I'm really looking for 1,500 yards, double-digit touchdowns out of Chase Claypool because I feel this year what has held him back in the past is the inaccuracy of quarterbacks getting him the ball downfield. This year, I feel the quarterbacks are going to get accurate. I feel there's going to be a lot more of the faith in the throwing the 50-50 ball in a catchable position. And if you've watched Claypool, he fights for the ball. He makes those contested catches. Was it as good last year as his rookie year? No, but he still made it at an above average rate for the league. And now when you're going to see him 4 or 5 yards down the field, I think the ball will be on him more this year than it was last year. I feel the system is going to be set up to get Claypool in a lot of one-on-ones by using a lot of misdirections other ways and a lot of, let's call them double wides to the left, double wides to the right with a deep crosser to pull the ball off the fade route guy. And I feel that fade route guy who's going to be seeing that ball a lot is Chase Claypool. And I think the other thing that's going to help Chase Claypool is the emergence of another speed option, whether it be Austin or Pickens, whoever gets to go in there and make that other role. Because let's not forget, last year the Steelers didn't have another over-the-top burner type of guy. Hell, maybe even Miles Boykins gets some time in there. He is pretty fast and pretty big. But you're talking James Washington, who's a contested catch guy, isn't really going to be a speedster type of guy, doesn't scare the safeties to his side because they know the corners will be able to make up because Washington doesn't have burner speed. Same with Deontay Johnson, same with Juju Smith-Schuster. So when you're talking Claypool was the only guy who had that skill set, and our offensive line mixed with Ben's deteriorating arm made it hard to get a deep ball, I really feel the X factor for this year's passing game is going to be, can Chase Claypool take that jump from being just a good deep ball receiver to being an elite playmaking wide receiver? I feel he will. That's why I feel he is my X factor for the passing game and the offense, because I don't care what quarterback's throwing him the ball. All three of them throw the ball well enough that I feel Claypool, mixed in with having a little bit more help in the speed / deep department from Pickens and Austin, is going to be able to take that step forward, build off of a super successful rookie campaign, and then really not a bad year last year in his sophomore campaign, but a disappointing year to a lot of Steelers fans because they expected that step to happen. And because it didn't happen in year 2, a lot of Steelers fans have given up on him. And I think a lot of people are going to realize that giving up on him was a little bit premature, because you're going to see that guy who's getting open, who's making those contested catches, and that's what I think you're going to see a lot more of, is those 50-50 balls are going to get thrown to him a lot more this year than they did last year. I think you see one-on-one on the outside, and Matt Canada's coaching up is going to be, you see one-on-one on the outside of Claypool, you just put that ball in his catch vicinity, and I think he's going to really start to show that ability to bring down the contested ball, because if you watch the tape, he does have that ability. The biggest thing is just staying consistent, because a lot of times guys like Claypool, they come and disappear for big portions of a game. I think this year, as I said, when he recommits, fully commits, gets in there and is worried about playing great football, like I said, I think you see 1,500 yards and 10-plus touchdowns, the X factor for an improved Pittsburgh Steelers passing game. And who knows where that leads us, but that's my thoughts. Everybody, please let me know what you think the X factor of the Steelers' offensive passing game will be, because, hey, I like to hear from all sides, and maybe if someone brings up something interesting I never considered, I can bring it up next week, and we could talk about it and see what y'all think then. But that's going to do it for me. That's the first take of our X Factor thing. Maybe we'll go jump to the defensive side for one X Factor next week, or maybe we'll stay on the offensive side and talk about the running game. Who really knows? Well, guess you'll have to tune in to find out. Anyway, it's time to do a shout-out. Being Father's Day, shout-out has to be to all the fathers out there who are killing it, doing their thing, and just helping kids become who they're going to be. First Father's Day without my father, kind of weird. Shout-out to him in heaven, I guess, is the best way to say it. Good Father's Day for me, and I hope it's a great Father's Day for all the fathers out there, because fathers do a heck of a lot in raising the children and definitely deserve a day to be celebrated. Now I guess it's time to let you know I am the Viking Donkey. That's Viking_Donkey on Twitch and Twitter. Your daily dose of donkey with Ginger is a YouTube channel where most of our content gets put up. Leave us a like, leave us a follow, leave us a comment. Let me know what you like, let me know what you don't like. Let me know if you have any topics that you would like to see covered, any other teams that maybe you're curious about, maybe an AFC North team you're curious about, maybe an NFC South team you're curious about. Who really knows? We can talk about them all. We can see what's happening with them all. Later in the year, hopefully we do all sorts of schedule breakdowns and record predictions so you can hold all the Donk Nation staff accountable for what our thoughts and feelings are prior to the season. Anyway, Donk Nation, Steelers Nation, it's a little bit of a downtime, but hey, we always gotta wave them if you got them. Here we go.